Well, we've been in the granite business for over 15 years together, and we're always talking about what we love about the granite business and all this time, and what we've learned and what we hate. And what we love is the art of it, learning how to put together stone and bring it to somebody's home and, you know, make it look good. And, you know, we love that part, but the part that I always hated was the dust. So in this case, this box can eliminate the #1 thing that we hate.
How's it going, guys? I'm here today introducing the Dust Eliminator, put together by our family. We have Emmanuel, the middle child. You wanna wave? Mike, the inventor and the owner of our last granite business, and Kaz, the oldest. So just for a little context, I was in the granite industry for close to 12 years. Kaz was in it for 15, Emmanuel was in it for 15, and then my dad's been in it for over 20 years in the stone industry. So we're not just saying things because like we're supporting our dad for making a new invention. Like we were actually involved most of our lives.
We're using these in our everyday, you know, installs, shop work. We were using this and benefiting from it.
And there was a lot of back and forth between all of us, kind of like with the benefits, what we would like to see in the box and stuff like that. So this is basically a collection of all our preferences. We're excited to introduce the Dust Eliminator. What this does is basically it eliminates obviously all the dust through this one bit that actually evenly distributes all the water along the blade instead of just shooting it straight out. So this is the box right here, and it's pretty much an all-in-one. It's got your grinders, wet grinders, air. All you have to do is plug into an air source and a water source, and then electrical, which just requires a 110, and you're ready to go. It's pretty much plug and play. And this right here is the bit, the Dust Eliminator bit. Yeah. So all these channels right here is what allows the water to go out towards the side. Normally on a normal bit, it just comes out from the middle and shoots straight out. This one distributes it through 3 channels along the entire blade, so then you're ensuring you're getting actual coverage while you're cutting. It is patented. This is the inventor of it, Mike.
And the material that we've been using, it's lighter than the actual nut. So it's not interfering with the, you know, the speed or rotation or anything, yeah.
So it's lighter, more durable too. It's a strong, what is it made of? Is it aluminum? So it's made of aluminum. So it's strong. And so this whole box was designed around that bit, because now you're actually able to cut without dust going everywhere. So we're talking about driveways or shops, wherever it may be. You're no longer confined to just the shop. Alright, so we're going to show you guys what's inside the box. Kaz, if you want to go ahead and open it.
This is the back of the box. It has all the connections for all the equipment in the front. This is air pressure for the air grinder. This is a water line for both grinders, however it needs to be used. This is a thicker cable here for the water heater. And then this is electric for the grinder and the heat gun and everything else.
It's nicely all packed in the back of the box.
Nice in the back, and then you have this extra shelf here for anything.
Yeah, you can put a little parts on there, little tools, and then here on the side, this door opens and reveals the air grinder.
This is the air grinder with 12-foot air that you connect in the back.
Custom cables made specific for this.
For use in the shop.
You know.
Go to your.
Yeah, so you can see it's got plenty of.
Go to your side and start cutting. Whatever you need with air pressure, it's plugged in the back into your shop.
And when you have to put it back, you don't have to worry about putting in a very nice way. You just push it in. Yeah, it's enough room for that.
So as you can see, as easy as it was to pull out.
Pack everything back.
And you have tool chest in here with things you might need. That's the water heater.
So yeah,
water heater in there.
There is actually a water heater for those concerned that it's going to be cold doing this outside or whatever.
Or in the winter.
Yeah, in the winter. You have the water heater, and then back there you have the gun, the heat gun for like laminations when it's wet, so it doesn't slow down the fabrication process.
And also the water heater produces enough water, you know, for both grinders. So you don't have to be
two people
worried.
at once?
Yes, 2 people at once, they can use it and have enough water. Hot water, I mean warm water, yeah.
This is the other side.
And this one has your electric grinder.
With water.
With water still.
Electric grinder with water.
And it's the same.
Same concept, plug it in, you have the back plugged in. And you just get down to work.
Very important to know is if you don't have air in your shop, you can make the order for 2 electrical ones. So instead of giving you a air one, we give you 2 electrical ones.
So it's
that's
customizable.
A good thing. It's customizable, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's for the heat gun, but you can plug anything you want into that. So that's just an extra electrical source to where if you want to add to this kit your own like electrical thing, you can just plug it in and it's ready to go. So here's the heat gun, and this is for the laminations after, because it's obviously going to be wet.
Or if you want to dry a piece so you can see how...
You can use a blowtorch too.
Or even for the sink clamps underneath.
Yeah. And you can have 2 of these, 2 blowers. It's enough room inside for 2 blowers, just in case if 2 people working at the same time and if they don't want to wait for each other, then it is enough room over here. I will show it to you. You know, same thing. You can use, you see? So you can have 2 blowers.
Yeah, so this is, you can see all the way through here. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room in here, even down here. You want to point the light down there? Down here too. So these are the essentials, and then you guys can add whatever you want to these boxes to make it even easier. So what are like the amps and like the power that you could get out of
the electrical for the water is a 12 gauge, a thicker, stronger cord, so that it could supply water to both grinders at the same time. And the power outlet for them is usually a 16, but this is a 14 just to have extra power for the grinder, the heater, whatever you're using.
The fuses won't
so you're good to go.
So you're not tripping any fuses.
So you don't have to worry about working in tandem. You'll be able to very easily.
You're not going to trip anything. Yeah.
This right here is the size of the box, and you can see it does not take up nearly as much space as a dust collector would, or these big machines, or a room. Actually, you normally need designated rooms for dust. So this is all the room it takes, and it's on wheels too, so it's super mobile.
It's 30 by 16 and 30 tall.
So 30 by 16 and 30 tall.
Well, it's a little more with the wheels, yeah.
34 wheels.
Yeah.
34. But it's gonna come even smaller than this for the production. This is the prototype.
Yeah, so we got the prototype here, and
We're gonna eliminate extras.
this thing has been in testing for a really long time. We didn't just throw it together and then start selling it. Like we've been
like
testing and changing.
Prototype, right?
It is. How many of these boxes did you make?
This is the 5th one.
Yeah.
And also now we have the factory behind us, so we can make orders anytime. And yeah, we can probably get an order like in 3 to 4 weeks, you know, first order. Now, if there are too many order once, then, you know, might take longer. But we have the factory ready to go for us, and everything is in the professional way done.
This dust eliminator is lighter than the original nut that goes on the grinder, so you'll have no issues. And it's hardened on the inside for the thread to be a lot stronger than the original.
Tightens the blade very strong.
It tightens the blade very strong.
Yeah, it doesn't come loose randomly, like...
Never. We never had one issue with it all the years we've been using it.
You would not get a pattern, you know, if it would not be like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the Grand Quartz is selling it.
Oh yeah, that's
all
true.
over
You can
America.
get these at Granite Quartz, and they're constantly putting orders in for more.
Yeah.
So all these cables right here are 25 feet long. So we're gonna plug in the air right now. And that's it. Now you're connected. Go ahead and pull the trigger. Yeah, we're gonna connect the water now. So you can see you got plenty of slack on that. plug it right to this spigot. Okay, now we're connected to the spigot. So this is where you plug in the air and water, and then you could detach them and stuff. So that's the water right there, and then the air is right next to it. And now your grinder's connected to those. So if you ever had to, you know, remove the hoses and everything, it's very simple. And then they're also staggered so that they're not getting in the way of each other. One's higher than the other, and that way thicker hoses will work as well. Okay, and then here is where, that's the other water on the other side.
Yep, the electrical grinder, just simply plug in here, plug in the outlet and the water line.
Yeah.
Very strong connection.
Nice and snug. Alright, now we're going to plug in the electrical directly from back here right into right over here. Okay, now we're plugged in to the box. Okay, so now you can see
we got juice.
Nice. Okay, so right here we have, this is made for the dust eliminator. This doesn't come with your grinders. So this is also a custom piece to help keep the water in there. So basically what this bit does is it makes water come out along the blades. Like I was saying, the original just has water come out of here and you're hoping to catch a lot. This one makes sure that you're catching all the dust. So that's exactly what makes it a patented product, is those channels within that bit. Yeah, you can use the original handle, or we have this handle that can come with it. It's rubberized, so when you're getting wet, it's easier to hold on to and everything like that. So these are the three things that transform your grinder and allow you to eliminate the dust. So this adapter right here is made for when you're out in the field at like a house. You simply just plug this into the grinder, and then you plug this to a normal water hose. You can see it twists and it tightens on, and that way you don't have to have a specific line just for that. So you can actually adapt it to just like a normal hose at somebody's house.
So by using this extension, you can use the same grinder in the shop and outside the shop when you go to do a job. And that's very easy. You just unplug everything from here. You take this outside, okay, and it's long enough so you can reach your pieces that you work on it, and then you just connect this, of course, to an outlet at the people's house, and you connect this together, and you connect it to the water.
And then that goes to a hose.
To the water. So you can use that grinder to polish and also to eliminate dust 100% even there.
So most shops have the air source with the female end, and then the grinder is going to have the male end, and you would just plug in like this. In some cases, you would need an adapter. So we made one, which is every dust eliminator kit comes with a double female end. So if you don't have this standard connection, you can connect this to the air source, and then the grinder would go
and also another male connection into
yeah,
it.
another male connection goes.
So that way, if it's male to male, you're fine.
You'd be covered for it.
Okay, so right now we're all connected. We're ready to go. The grinder, the electrical grinder's connected with the water. So right here we have the water collector. It's all packed up right now. But what this allows for is to contain all the water that would normally shoot out everywhere. In different scenarios, even in worst case, if you had to do any cutting or polishing inside a house, this would allow you to contain all that within one small area, so it's not flying everywhere.
And the cover is just enough to keep the whole set together, you know.
That is a custom-made cover specifically for this product.
Yeah.
So we're gonna open it up. So in here you have everything you need. You got your clamps, you got your stands. This is so compact. It's even got the cart inside of the pan that collects all the water.
So one man can do this, you know, because everything is done that way. So you put everything on
Everything's made for one man to be able to operate all of this.
Okay.
God, stop helping him.
Okay, so you open up this, and then you raise this as you like. You're gonna raise this as
depending
you like.
on the height of your sawhorses
Yes.
or whatever, the cart.
Yes, and then you tighten it up. Tighten it up here. Then you make it 90 degrees. Make it level.
And then this is magnetized, right, to keep that tray well supported. So that tray is gonna go on top of this cart right here, and it's magnetized so it's not slipping everywhere. And
Also, this has a very good isolation. You know,
For water once
it's padded, so it's not scratching, and it's keeping all the water confined. Okay, so that's gonna go right on top of the stone, whatever area you're cutting.
Okay.
And it's also movable, so if you had something larger than this, you can literally just slide it over.
You slide it as you need it. Wall. Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about the walls.
So you just put it together and get it ready. Okay, there are only 2 screws that you have to take care of. 2 screws, and you tie it on the other side.
From the bottom? Or from the back side?
Yeah. So you tie it here.
And this is just to allow for it to be more compact. That way you can pack it up.
It's so easy to tie it up.
As you can see, the walls right here are, so this is universal. You could take this wall and flip it and put it on this side. So whatever direction you're cutting and the water's going, you want that wall in front of. And so it'll confine everything within this area. And then the basically dump bucket stays on the bottom of it, catches all the water, and then you can actually dispose of it like in a bucket or something like that. So this is the tray at the bottom of the piece that collects everything. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that tipping or anything because it's magnetized, so it holds it really nice and solid. All right, so now we're gonna place this underneath.
Okay, so what you have to do, you just have to get as close as possible. So you get under, you just untight, and look.
Adjust the height.
Adjust the height. Look. Okay, that's pretty much where you at. You can play with it, so it goes easy.
Yeah, so there's play.
Yeah. So look, just go inside and adjust this.
You want to align the top and the bottom.
Okay. So look.
And then you want to put it to where there's just a little bit of pressure on the piece, not too much to where it's raising it, but enough to where there's a good seal.
Okay, that's close enough. I'm gonna use just 2 of these, and it'll be good enough not to leak. Just 2 of the little ones.
You can see
Absolutely.
he's clamping the bottom and the top
And one in the
together.
back. You can use more clamps, you know, but you don't need to.
Yeah, so that hose connects to the bottom of the pan, and that way you can actually drain.
It has the size of the normal water hose. So
That's connected.
Yeah, so you just let the water come here. But if you want to use longer one or put it in the drain, you can do that.
If you did have to cut closer, like on a cooktop or something right here, you can actually move this more forward. As long as that rubber seals on a surface, you're going to be fine. So there's definitely room to play with this thing. So now we got the whole thing set up. As you can see, the walls are protecting anything from the outside from getting wet.
And you could see, I did everything by myself. You don't need 2 men. Usually I know when you install Granite, you know, you have 2 men. But just in case if it's just 1 man, you can do it easy. Everything is so handled.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole goal, is to make this compact and easy enough to where if you did have to go to a job alone, you could do that and still use all of the Dust Eliminator products. So this right here is where all the shutoff is for the water. That red latch right there. Just turn it on and off. So now the water's on. You can see no leaking. This is the grinder that it's connected to. No leaks there. Everything is watertight. So then we're gonna turn it on real quick. So you can see where the water's flowing. Instead of coming out towards me, it's flowing along the blade, and there's 3 channels that do that. So that way when it spins, it's distributing the water along the entire blade and collecting all the dust as it's cutting. There's plenty of water in the cutting area, but there's none here, nice and clean. Yeah, if you look under, nice and dry. The surrounding areas are nice and dry. We still got a lot of cutting to do, but we just wanted to make a side note. We're gonna cut through, and then you'll see the water is gonna drain and there'll be no water on the ground.
Now the
water is going into the bucket instead of all over the floor. The floor is nice and dry still. And it's all been collected in this bucket right here. You can see.
We're changing the same grinder now to do some surface polishing or any kind of polishing we need.
And it comes with that tool specifically made for this bit right here. The Dust Eliminator tool. So now we're going to show you guys what a surface polishing or any type of polishing scenario would look like. And the walls are containing all of the water.
Over the years, I've been doing a lot of service calls as well, where companies maybe did a bad seam, clients weren't satisfied, there was a scratch, or dull spots, things like that, where you have to do the work inside the customer's home. The granite's installed, you can't take it out, and you risk breaking it. So what you would have to do is make a barrier for the water so that you wouldn't make a mess in the client's home. But even with the barriers you would make, it would still go all over the place because I'd use tape or things like that, which would be flexible. This right here collects all the water so that if you're doing a surface polish, not only does it create a pool where your granite is completely wet all the time so that you're not burning the granite itself and then having a bad surface polish job, but you're also able to then clean up a lot easier at the end. It would take me 45 minutes to an hour just to clean up after I was done.
polishing for about an hour or two. So it's just it's a big process. This eliminates all that.
Yeah, you know how thick that wax is that flies everywhere.
Yeah.
And you don't have time to clean it up after every single pad, so that sticks to it, it dries, and it gets super difficult to actually clean it up.
Now you could move the wall here, you can move it so that it's flush with the counter, so you can polish all the way to the edge of it and then push it back for the last inch or two, whatever it may be. It's just the clamps that you would have to move, and that's quick and easy. So as far as the surface polishing, it just makes it easier, the cleanup's easier, and then in between pads so that you can dry and make sure that you don't have any issues with the feathering out or the polishing. You can just use a squeegee, just squeegee it, wipe it down with a sponge, a rag, or you can use the heat gun that is provided in the dust eliminator kit. And then so you can...
Let's show that real quick.
Yeah.
So this is a variable heat gun. If you don't want too much heat on the product or anything like that. We actually, in our shop, we're using a blowtorch. So if you're in the shop, you want to use a propane torch to dry it, there's no issues. We've used it on quartz as well. Obviously you want to be a little more careful with the quartz, but we haven't had any issues due to this type of to the heat. And
this will dry it out right away, and then you can see if you need to polish more or go further out with your surface polishing, whatever it may be.
Or you could come up with your own drying method. Either way, it doesn't slow down the process.
After all the work we did, the grinding, cutting, polishing, moving, trying different tools, everything's dry, nice, all the connections that are professionally done, and everything's working really good. This is great for bringing the shop, move it wherever you want, and turn your shop into a dust-free environment.
For a lot less.
A lot less than some of those dust collectors.
And then I want to stress the square footage. Like, you don't need a designated room for this. Like, this goes everywhere. How many square feet would you say you save? You'll save like 300-400 square feet.
Easy, 500 square feet. But not only that, but dust collector still leaves some dust in the shop.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's the best one that you pay 30, 40, 50,000. You still have dust, and that's so dangerous for your lungs. So.
And then you go home and hug your family, and they're all dusty. And
summertime, when you're polishing, and that dust comes, and the mask, the dust mask and everything, sweat, and the dust will make it such a miserable life. This one is so clean.
Plus it's cooling you off too with the water and stuff like that.
The last 7-8 years, almost 10 years since we started this, we didn't even had one dust mask in our shop. And everybody was clean, and whoever was coming to our shop was saying, how come you don't have dust?
Granite shop?
Yeah, is it Granite shop? Because usually Granite shop is crazy.
That was actually something a lot of our clients would mention, is how clean our floors were.
If somebody wants to start a shop, keep in mind how much money you save. Instead of renting a place of 5,000-6,000 square feet because you need so much space, you just rent 2,000, 2,500 square feet. It's half of the cost of the rent.
So this goes far beyond just eliminating the dust. We're talking cost savings, saving your lungs, your health, all that stuff.
Health for your employees and yourself.
Yeah, and then also just the overall enjoying what you're doing, because like we were mentioning, the dust was the worst part in all our Granite careers.
We all took pride in how we worked. We enjoyed, we learned throughout the years how to do a lot of nice things with stone. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed doing that for the customer. We hated the dust.
And actually, summertime, you enjoy it because you need some water on you so you can cool off. In the winter time, it doesn't bother you because, like we said, about the water heater is strong enough to give you warm water, so it's enjoyable. And you don't need a special place for the water. The place that you use for your polishing, it's good enough for what we do here.
Alright, so now we're going to clean everything up, just show you guys how easy it is. We didn't do any actual fabrication, we just wanted to show you guys the different ways of using the grinder, cutting the line, surface polishing. It all works the same. So now Kaz is gonna clean up.
Super easy. You don't have to take a lot of time. These hoses just go right in here. Super easy. And as you can see, the box is very clean. You have 12 feet in the front of line and 25 feet in the back. There's no dust in the environment, so the dust eliminator is clean. The whole area is clean, and you can obviously add extensions too if you want to keep the box wherever you need. But already it has so much flexibility just the way it comes. Very easy cleanup.
Or for the other side.
Goes right in the 12 feet.
And then disconnect the lines in the back.
These go right in too easy. We'll disconnect the water.
It's off, right? From the spigot?
Yeah.
So you can see along the whole floor, there's no leaks or anything like that. Yeah, so all the surrounding area is very clean. The box is nice and clean.
We'll do the electric. This was plugged into a splitter too, and it worked out very good.
Sure.
We commandeered this place. And it's nice, it's got the dividers to keep all the cables separate so that you don't have to worry about them getting all tangled.
The water's from the end of the line.
Yeah.
A little bit that's on there.
So now everything's put away.
So if you want to keep the room large open, you know, and overnight, and you just want to over the weekends, you just move this box in the corner, and nobody can even see.
That's a mobile shop right there, besides the bridge saw and everything, obviously. But the polishing area is all in that box. And then this same concept, just break the walls down, pack it in nice and tight, and then that compacts too. Once we're ready for to go out on the market with it, it's gonna actually be on hinges, so it'll be.
We are ready, but we have to do the last change.
Just a couple fine tunes to it, but
a little bit.
Very simple. Just wipe it down after use.
No rust because the material.
You could put as many clamps as you want on this thing, but we only used 2 and it still got the job done nice and clean. We didn't do any wiping on the stone on the outside, so this is exactly what you get with this product. Yeah, so you can see it's now, we're dumping everything from the tray into the bucket. Easy disposal. Wipe down the tray a little bit, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so you can see the parameters where the walls were. You can see how tight that seal was. Just wipe it down. We'll show you what's in here now. You can see that's all dust that would have been in your lungs, in the air. It all got caught. Yeah, you just got to guide it a little bit to get the water.
One little cut too.
Yeah, exactly. It was one line, keep in mind. From this one cut, all of this dust was produced. There was no airborne dust or anything. It got all of it. Alright, and just a final wipe down before you pack it away. Just disconnect the hose.
Zero and then fade it in. Yeah.
So now you take the walls.
Goes in each other, inside of each other.
There you go. So that didn't take any more space.
Okay. Now.
And then all the rest of the components just sit in there.
Now you put it here. And you put it in your truck.
That'll fold right up. So again, the cart is small enough to where it just sits right in here. So
okay, this goes first.
That packs over it, and then now all the clamps.
You don't need so many clamps. I just put here all kinds of clamps.
Just in case.
Yeah. And to make sure it stays together, you know, you just turn it around.
And that's it. All packed up. Compact. Doesn't take up a lot of space in any trailer or truck. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in and watching. We hope you guys enjoyed the video and you guys got to see what the dust eliminator does. We want to give a big thank you to the yard out here in Phoenix for lending us this shop. This is one of their shops. They're good friends of ours, and they were nice enough to give us this room to be able to shoot the video in. All the information will be down below in the description. Thanks again for watching. We hope you enjoyed that.